Hey, everybody. Welcome to Behind the Moon. My name is Bobby.
And my name is Ramon from the
Hello, and
Mascara
I'm
channel.
Selena.
The three of us have joined forces to do this weekly show on spirituality. We talk about witchcraft, spiritual matters, angels, divination, you name it, we're going to talk about it. If you would like to throw a topic out for us to discuss, please join our Behind the Moon Facebook group. We started a community forum for everybody to share their thoughts with us. Speaking of everybody, let's take a quick look at who's joined us tonight, you guys. We've got Megas.
Hello.
Hi, Megas.
So, Megas, Ramon was telling me what a great channel you have. I'm going to check that out tonight. By Brush, Bone, and Indigo Ash. Okay, I'll be honest with you. Until Selena and Ramon just filled me in, I didn't realize that was you, Heather. I'm so sorry.
So sub to her new channel.
Yes, please subscribe.
You guys need to check out her picture there. It's really cool.
I love me some Heather. Yeah. She's been there for my channel right since the beginning. Miss Tarot D, you sexy biatch. How you doing,
Hello.
Mama? It's just right. And I want to point, Selena is on stage with us, but look at her picture. It's half sugar skull. I dig that so much.
Thank you.
Faye of the Forest. How you
Hello,
doing, my love? Our friend Moon Scarab is here. How you doing, Ramon?
Hello. I think I'm good. I am good.
Maruta.
Hi, Maru.
Linda. Oh, we got a lot of peoples here tonight. Yes, we are. Thank you for bringing that up, Maru. We are simulcasting on all three channels.
I know. I'm so sorry to the mods.
Witchy
Hi,
best
Jess.
friend. Somebody just rang my doorbell. Oh, my husband will have to get it. Look, it's my bestie.
Oh, hi, Joey.
It's my Joey.
Sending you so much love.
So Joey makes this bomb-ass third eye oil, and I got some, and this is what I'm sending to you, Ramona and Selena. This is so
I love
awesome.
her products.
Yeah,
Nice.
The veilcottagewitch.com.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it is very skin
Love the
calming,
label.
and it's lavender and chamomile. But Joey, do not sell them all out. I still need one more for backup. So don't get rid of all of them. This smells so good. Yeah.
Okay, we got Janet. What's up, Bobo? Kaylee.
Hello.
Gold Monday. Hey, Roman, how you doing, my friend?
Hola.
Tarot and
Sarah.
Oracle for the Soul, Sarah. Oh my gosh, look at all the peoples. I hope I'm not missing everybody. I'm sure I will. Oh! Joan Miranda. I just love that so much. That's one of the reasons I go, oh, Aquarius, how you doing?
Hello. Hi, Draven.
Draven. I love that name.
Yeah.
When I hear the word Draven, I think the crow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is. Rochelle.
Oh, hi, Rochelle.
Hi, Rochelle.
Look at all the peoples. Okay, so tonight's topic, you guys, is going to be on spirit guides. Okay, who are they? What are they? How do you connect with them? That is going to be our topic for tonight. But before we dig into that, I do want to say, for those who've been watching me since the beginning, I was talking about putting a website out for tarot, so that you could learn tarot and have a forum for clients for them to find you. There's a deck catalog on there so you can load your cards on. If your clients can see, or the people you're reading for can see what kind of decks you use, which for me, you guys both know we all have cards up of the yin yang.
I know, and you guys are getting more in the mail. You tomorrow, and then you on Monday.
The giving nature.
I know.
I've filed so much more in the past year than I think I ever have in my
Me
whole
too.
life.
It's pretty bad,
really
especially
tough.
being like with Rochelle and Rochelle's group. And, you know, I feel like I'm constantly buying either decks or like recently I bought like 12 from her.
Yeah. So, the link is in the website if you guys would like to go to the Mystic Turtle app and check it out. It's a lot of fun. You can learn tarot, but you can also share your readings with other people. There's a reading buddy function. I couldn't think of the word. So yes, the website is in the links in the description. Okay, yes, Rochelle, you are an enabler.
An influencer.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Draven said, I have 3,275 decks.
Are you kidding me?
Rochelle has more than that. No.
I have like my gosh.
160 maybe.
I thought, yeah, I'm around that area. Dude, yeah. Draven, and I've been giving a lot of them away too. So, dude, you are my new hero. Okay, so let's start this off, peoples. What are spirit guides? Well, spirit guides are entities that come into our lives. There's different forms: ancestors, animal spirit guides, ascended masters, angels, star beings, if you follow a galactic regime, nature beings, the Fae, the higher self, which is my favorite, and I'm going to love talking about that, and then deities. Yes, Bobby did make notes this time. Yay! All right. So we're going to start off talking about ancestral guides. Who are they? Well, ancestors are obviously the people in your bloodline. They're also, like, say your grandfather never married your grandmother, but they were like that, and you always considered her your grandmother. That's an ancestor. Okay, that soul energy is there for you as an ancestor.
And I would like to add on top of that, anyone in your past, who you were in a past life is also your ancestor. So when I'm doing my workings and my oils and whatever, I'm also bringing in all of my past life witchy women to help me with my spells, to help me with what it is I'm working on. So they're also my ancestors.
That is a great thought. I hadn't even considered that.
Yeah.
And you know, I when we get down to the higher self, that's what it is. Mm-hmm. I'll have something similar to add on that. But how do you connect with your ancestors? It's easier than you think, you guys. They're with you all the time. They're in your blood.
In your DNA. It's part of who you are, you know, physically. Exactly. So that has an emotional, a spiritual charge as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and ancestors,
you can just call on them. Yeah.
We have so many ancestors. I mean, up to a certain point, we know who these people are, but if you go way back there, like there's no limit going back. So like any X amount of these spiritual beings can be your guide, and a lot of times you really don't know who they are. It's not until you establish that relationship that they start to reveal, or you get to know their identity. But it could be perfectly someone who you weren't aware of from your lineage.
Yeah, you hear the stories about kids seeing the old man sitting in the chair watching over them, or stories like that. Those, because kids are more open to spiritual matters like that. They can see angels, they can see ghosts. They don't think anything of it. They don't learn till later on that the quote unquote not supposed to. If when
And they identify that need, because if you go back to what spirit guides are per se, they're non-physical entities, they're energies or beings that offer wisdom, protection, and guidance to help you evolve spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. And they are either assigned or attracted to you based on your soul's need, purpose, and evolution in this lifetime. And I think they have a field of view wider than us in terms of like evolution, time, circumstances, and they're able to foresee situations that we might go through. I'm not talking about predetermination, but there's certain um elements in our path that they're able to foresee and intervene in those moments that are critical in our lives to help us clear blockages, to guide us, and to provide insight and tools on how to deal with these things.
And they
that
can
was
give you
so
those
well
messages
said.
through like dreams or just like a inner knowing, like they'll communicate with you. Like you don't know where this thought's coming from, but it's coming from somebody, from somewhere,
Yeah.
There are ways to connect with your ancestors actively, but the easiest way that I know of, honestly, is just to sit there, close your eyes, and talk to yourself. Be open to it. Ask your ancestors to show themselves. If you are into ritual and magic, light a candle, cast a circle, and turn it into ritual. You don't need to get all that witchy with it when it comes right down to it, because your ancestors are there. Ramon is absolutely correct. They are in your DNA. That raises another interesting topic. Up until recently, I felt a personal need. This is the Captain Save-A-Ho thing. I wanted to cleanse my family's stain on the world, because I do have some ancestors who were really, really bad people, to put it bluntly, mildly. And I felt like it fell on me to cleanse it. Well, I started realizing that's bullcrap. All I can do is live for myself and live the best way possible. And by doing that, I honor my ancestors. To do anything other would be disrespectful to them.
I mean, we all have ancestors in our past that weren't the nicest or most civilized, I guess, if you want to call it that word, whatever. But
mine was responsible for the death of thousands of people. He was a bad guy. Historically, he was a bad guy. But like I say, I stopped feeling like that. My goddess showed me that I don't need that kind of weight on myself. But I do honor
you're
my
not the one that did it either. It was them.
You're not responsible for it.
Yeah, you're not responsible for that.
It definitely served a purpose. It had an impact on others people's lives, but it's not your decision.
Yeah. We honor our ancestors. I know how I honor mine, and I am going to share that with you right now. So this is my altar. Hold on, let me remove that comment. Banner, there it is. So this is my altar. This is for Hecate and Hermes. I'm using my pointer like you guys could see it. But if you look over to the left on my altar, you'll see this owl right here. And on it is the rune Otala, which is for your ancestors. So I did a ritual and a spell, and I used this totem to connect with my ancestors. It's on my altar. I bring them coffee. I bring them snacks. I talk to it because my altar is in my bedroom. I talk directly to them, and I'm open to their wisdom. That's owl. Yes, yes, Heather. That was an owl. Now, I'm not the only one who honors their ancestors with a beautiful altar.
So that's mine. That's when it's clean, when it just got cleaned. Right now, it's very much a working altar and does not look anything like it. Because there's all that stuff in the front is full. There's ashes. I mean, it's a witchy altar.
It's a working witch's altar.
It's a working, because I do working regularly. So yeah.
Yeah. So this.
Yeah. So that was what my Day of the Dead looked like prior to a permanent altar. So now that's what it would look like for those several days. Usually I would have it up for like a week to 2 weeks. But now it's a lot more elaborate and it's a lot more permanent.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Selena and Ramon and I, we talk about the ways we honor our ancestors. I like to give mine coffee. Every member of my family carried around a pot of coffee with them all day, a thermos full. So I give them coffees, and I need to go down and get butter cookies because that was the other thing. I don't know if this is going to sound really racist, but in non-Hispanic families, do they have the metal tins with the butter cookies? Is that a big thing?
I mean, we would use it for putting like needle bread and stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, we would buy those just for the dang cases. They were awesome.
Yeah.
I know my grandmother used to store like her needles and like sewing stuff in
my
there.
mom did that too. Oh
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely a Hispanic Latino thing.
Alexis has joined us. How you doing, my lovely Alexis?
Hello, Lexi. Mi hermana. She just got her new book today.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which
the
book?
Muerte.
The book?
The book.
The book.
Yeah. The book that everybody has.
My God, it's so good. Yeah. Let me, if I can pull it. I was actually showing Cressida yesterday that I actually have 2 copies of the book. I have a backup copy and one of my altars.
Stop it! You have 2?
I do. Look right here. I'm not lying. Look,
Ramon, do you have an audiobook copy?
I do have an audiobook.
Okay,
I knew it.
Yes.
3 copias.
Yes.
I knew it. I was
love it.
actually going to see if Dr. Stone would be willing to take the Fool's Journey.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, I want to know her story. I got to know everybody's story. So, does anybody have a comment on how they honor their ancestors? Who is watching in chat?
Look, I have the audio here.
I love it.
It's a really good book. I always recommend it.
I think I need to get an audio as well. I need to download that because when I'm working, and especially when I'm doing stuff, I want to be able to listen to it, and I can't read and work at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have hearing aids, and I play music through my Bluetooth hearing aids. And when I was still working as a nail tech, I'd be sitting there working on the people while this woman would be going on about how awful her job is, and I'm just listening to my story. Yeah, I miss doing that. It was fun. And don't give me that look, everybody. I was there for them.
I'm totally giving you that look.
I was there for them. All right, so that is ancestor work. Amethyst or Rochelle says she had an altar before, but isn't something you normally do. I honor them by relaying their messages when they come to me and by remembering them. Yes, very good point.
Yeah, that's nice, Rochelle. Again, you don't have to have an altar to be able to talk to your ancestors. That's just that the 3 of us want to do, but you don't have to do any of that stuff. You can just get up in the morning and say hi to them while you're getting yourself ready for the day, and offering them a cup of coffee while you're drinking your cup of coffee. So You know, or if it's your birthday and you have cake, offer them, you know, put like a piece of cake aside for them and say, this is for your ancestors. It's something very simple like that.
Yeah, and
like
more than anything is connecting with them, is
Mm-hmm.
thinking about them, remembering them, honoring their memory, because it's pointless to have an altar and just like not honor them really. The whole point is to have that
yeah.
connection. And that's all it takes, to thinking about them,
Yeah.
remembering them, connecting with them.
Yeah.
Joey says they communicate with her via animals that appear to her. Exactly. Animal science is something we're going to talk about. Animal messengers.
Yeah.
I would like to point something out, you guys, that just because they were a jerk in life doesn't mean they're going to be that way after death. Death gives you a new perspective, I hear.
I've heard the same thing.
Yeah, that what was important in life isn't important anymore.
And they tend to repent as they're crossing over and really be sorry for what they did.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all attached to their element, right? Because they are the earth element, so their influence, but because of the circumstances and the energy of this lifetime, here, the physical form. So they had that pull, I don't know, that spiritual gravitational pull to the circumstances, and that influences, how they are, how they behave, etc. But once they're free from that, it's different. Their essence is transformed.
Yeah, if honestly, memory, that's how my ancestors speak to me. My aunts, uncles, cousins. I'll remember an instance I hadn't thought about in 30 years, just a brief moment, and it will take me back to that place. And that's them giving me a message, that instance, that feeling. I love that. All right, everybody is honoring their ancestors.
Midwest is here. Hi, Sophie. She
Hi,
has a space on her
Sophie.
altar, and she's like shown that as well on her channel. And it's a beautiful, beautiful altar that she has as well.
I would love to see that. I'll go check
Yeah,
out.
they're all like all over her house.
All right, you guys ready to go on? So now we got animal spirit guides, and you may have heard the term power animals. All right, what are they? They are spiritual embodiments of animals that act as teachers and protectors. Exactly what Ramon said when we started. They provide strength, help you with your instincts, and they give you help with specific qualities like courage when you think of lions and things like that, or finding your path, an eagle, call on that, a better view, some kind of bird. What do you guys have animal guides that you work with regularly?
Mine is the owl, definitely, because I
Yeah.
one of my spiritual guides is Santa Muerte. I mean, my spiritual guide is Santa Muerte, and she's a divinity for me as well. And she is depicted, or she's always with the owl. It's the owl that has the horns, and it's a
The horned
barn
owl,
owl.
yeah.
The horned owl, and those
great-
horns are called actually tufts, and that owl is her messenger. So when I connect Santa Muerte, sometimes I ask her to. I connect with the spirit of the owl for messages, and so that's one of the animals that I connect with. Spiritually, I like to connect also with the spider. I love spiders. They, it's their symbol. It has a feminine energy. It's one that deals with complexities. It's such a powerful image to me. But
It's funny you
overall,
say the word complexities. I use the word intricacies. Same thing. It's cool that you,
intricacy.
yeah.
Yes, symbolizes ancient wisdom. It has like so many like spiritual symbolic charges to it. But all around, I love animals in general. Starting with, I have two chihuahuas, and I love the energy of dogs. That faithfulness, that unconditional love. I love
Mhm.
squirrels. I feed squirrels every morning in my patio. I love birds. You know, their sense of community, of perspective. Sometimes I'm jealous about birds because they're able to just like physically
Yeah.
fly away from their environment, gain a different perspective on their
Mm-hmm.
field of view. You know, it's there's so many ways you can connect with different animals, and there's always something to learn from them.
There are certain animals that I do work with regularly. Spider, Joey was right, grandmother spider. We're
Mm-hmm.
down here by the border, and Native American culture and Mexican American culture is very prevalent down here. Grandmother spider is one of the spirit guides that I've worked with, and butterfly. I've always worked with butterfly transformation to
Mm-hmm.
become something new. Um, for a long time, I lived a very dangerous life when I was young. So, butterfly and snakes, I always had to evolve in order to stay alive. Um, and now I've shifted that to spiritual transformation. Now
Hmm.
I'm a grown up. I don't need to live that kind of life anymore. Um, those animal spirits can be called on for physical transformation as well as spiritual
Mm-hmm.
transformation, but I focus on the spiritual. Birds as messengers. I work with Hermes. Winged messengers are a big thing. Um, ravens. I had two ravens land. We have raven a pair that circle in our area. They landed on the hood of my car at the pharmacy one day, and I was flipping out, reaching for my camera to take a picture real slow like that. Um, but I knew they were messengers, and sure enough, my life took a turn. Owls, I always associated with Hera, um, the goddess Hera, queen of gods, as one of her totem animals. Um,
Mm-hmm.
oh, Maru. She was given the Pawnee name, New Butterfly. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Snakes for transformation, you guys.
Spiders more. Then can I read something I wrote about what spiders symbolize to me? One of them is creation and destiny. So weaving the web of light, spiders are master weavers, and their web symbolize the interconnectedness of all things, fate and destiny. They also represent patience and strategy because the spider waits silently for the right moment. It teaches us about timing, strategy, and the importance of quiet strength. It represents also feminine power and divine feminine. Because of their association with weaving and creating, spiders often symbolize the feminine principle, maternal energy, and the womb. And they're linked also to the goddess of Arachne in Greek,
Arachne.
or Neith in Egyptian. The spider represents intuitive knowledge and female power. They represent also shadow and mystery, because as night creatures, because they're more active at night, as night creatures who hide in corners and shadows, spiders also symbolize the unconscious mind, hidden fears, and mystery. So they can represent traps, illusions, or entanglements. And they also represent transformation and rebirth, because like snakes, spiders undergo molting, which is, they have an exoskeleton. So they shed that exoskeleton every now and then. um, so they undergo molting, shedding their exoskeleton to grow. This makes them symbols of personal transformation, renewal, and spiritual evolution. So their symbol is one that's very heavy in terms of rebirth,
Yeah.
transformation, death, and growth, all in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the cycle of life.
Those videos of spiders molting are the coolest things. Sometimes I could just sit there and watch those all night long.
Yeah.
One of my favorite decks by an artist, I can't remember who, has this card showing the Eight of Swords, the woman trapped in a spider web.
Hmm.
I love that. Spider
Oh,
webs have both dual
who's that's beautiful. Who's the
Yeah.
artist?
Whose card is that? Bobby?
He who
I'll
shall not be named.
He who
That's why.
I'll think of it
Chris
maybe later.
Butler, of course.
Yeah.
He always has to come up. Chris
course.
Butler.
But it's a great deck. I mean, come on.
It is. I'm not saying it's not. I have 2 copies of it. I love it.
Oh my
I love
god,
it.
you have 2 copies of it.
I have
Yes.
2 copies of the tarot and
Because
the
he's
Lenormand.
smart. That's why.
The
I
Lenormand is
love it.
really good. Just
I
in
love it.
case something
got
happens,
that
want to
right
have the
behind
other. It's really good. It's a beautiful deck.
Yeah, that's on my list. I
Um,
still haven't purchased that, but I need to buy that.
Hmm.
So for
Animals
me,
need-
my animals are, I mean, I have a lot of them that I feel like are continuously around me, but then like recently it's been the owl. You know, she's been really coming forward, and she's associated with the Santa Muerte. And again, she made an appearance today on my property. So with the squirrel didn't have a happy ending, but I'm gonna honor that sacrifice at the end. But you know, for me, it's the fox, the wolf, the butterfly, the
Fox.
dragonfly, the hummingbird. Like they all mean different aspects of my spiritual team that I feel are there when they're helping me. You know, that each one of them, each aspect of my spiritual team has a specific animal that when I see them, I say, thank you. I see you. Thank you for being here. You know?
That's a very good point that this
Mhm.
is your team, but
Mhm.
they're not permanent. Some of them
No.
are transitory, and it
Mhm.
means temporary. They come into your life as needed to
You need
get
them.
you over
Yeah.
the hump, to support you, teach you what you need, and then they're deuces. All right, they're gone. Some will be with you forever. One of my my main one, and you guys are gonna laugh at me probably, I don't know, but is Phoenix. I have a huge phoenix tattooed on my chest because transformation, rebirth,
Mhm.
that energy has followed me my whole life. If I went to a school, by the time I graduated, the school closed down. Junior high, elementary, high school, jobs. Even last year, I told this place, if you bring me on, there's a very good chance you're either going to flourish or close. I'm just warning you now. It was a metaphysical bookstore. Well, they didn't believe me, and they're closed now. But just because you don't see them nowadays doesn't mean they aren't there. Phoenix, dragon, griffin. These are also animal spirit guides that you can
Mhm.
call on, and they're powerful. The zodiac is mostly animals. Taurus, Aries, even the centaur for Sagittarius is half animal.
I think Libra is the only one that's not an animal, right?
Libra,
Scales.
yeah.
just-
Well, Gemini is people's, but yeah,
No.
Mhm.
there's a good number of them are animals because that's how people relate to the
Mhm.
spirits of nature. That's what monkey see, monkey do type thing. If you ever saw Halloween Town, mortal see, mortal do. So there's that. All right. And yeah, I really wanted to stress that these guides can be temporary, you guys. So if you feel them one day and not the next, that's okay.
Mhm.
Amethyst, yeah, Rochelle, most are. Oh, yeah, she's confirming that. Awesome. All right. So I'm really glad I made these notes, you guys. Ascended Masters. Who are they? Well,
Mhm.
they are enlightened souls who once lived human lives and now serve humanity from higher realms. For instance, Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin. Their role is to teach advanced spiritual lessons, the real lessons that we need to learn. They're there to help you recognize and accept them.
Mhm.
Kuan Yin and Buddha, those are bodhisattvas. When you reach a stage of enlightenment, Jesus, Hermes,
Mary.
their worship was at the same time. Just one religion got killed out, literally. But I'm not bitter. Hey, Jonathan, what's up, my brother? So, when we think ascended masters, I like to think Hermes Trismegistus. I don't believe that was a god. I believe it was an ascended master now. What is your opinion on ascended masters?
I work with them. I work with Kuan Yin and Mary, and they both help me in different aspects.
Ooh, Joey says Bridget is both a deity and an ascended
Ooh.
master. Whoop, whoop. Which we're going to hear more about because Joey's going to come on and do an episode of epithets. And she will explain all about the Lady Bridget to us.
Yeah, so I communicate with them through like meditation, like going into very deep meditation. And that's where I connect with both of my ascended masters, depending on what it is I'm working on or what they want me to work on. Let me rephrase that. What they want me to work on. Because it's not me. I'm not choosing the topic. It's them choosing it for me. Like, okay, CELINA, you need to work on this. You need to work on this. So, you know, to me, when I'm meditating and I see them in my meditation, I'm at like a little bistro set, like a coffee place, and they're sitting down and I'm sitting there and we're just chatting like good friends. Like that's when I'm meditating in that deep state.
Yep.
That's what I see. I see them like at one time, Mother Mary covered me in roses. And it was like a feeling when I got out of that deep meditation, I felt rejuvenated. I felt the healing energy. I felt the immense love that she was pouring on me. It was the most beautiful thing ever. And then for a while still, I would see like glowing purple roses when I would go into meditation with her. So nice. I knew it was her because of the roses and they were glowing. That was her energy, her way of saying, you know,
repeat that last part. You froze for a sec.
Beautiful. When I would go into meditation and I would see the roses and they were like illuminated, like glowing, that's how I knew I was working with Mother Mary, is because of the roses. Like it was her saying, okay, today you're doing a session with me. Like that's how I would see that message. Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, we have comments coming in. Amethyst, we got some Jesus loving. I say that because Aquarius had said, love me some Jesus. I honestly don't have anybody in my spirit team that I considered an ascended master. So that space is open. Taking interviews.
I wanted to add that, you know, there is a list of characters there, which we typically consider ascended masters, but we also have to take in consideration folk saints. You know, folk saints, which we talked during the show of Santa Muerte. These are people who, you know, they're not canonized by any religious institution, but they lived within our society and, you know, in close proximity of ourselves.
Would that be like San Muerte, like you were talking about?
No. Some of the examples that I put of folk saints in the United States, we have Marie Laveau. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and she, you know, typically she wasn't maybe recognized at the time as a divinity or anything like that. But, you know, after her time here on Earth and at her impact spiritually, she was, people consider her a folk saint, you know, and I feel that it falls within this category of ascended masters, even though it's not typically what we would consider,
right?
But it's that person, that being who lived as human and taught us advanced spiritual lessons, and they enlightened us. So here in the United States, we have folk saints, and you know, Marie Laveau is one of them.
Mama Brigitte.
Yeah, Francis Xavier Cabrini, who she was Italian American, and she is the first canonized by the Catholic Church,
Yeah.
the first U.S. saint, and she's the patron of immigrants, and she was a very venerated in the Italian American community, or late 19th century, early 20th century. And like her, a lot of others. So there's other people who can fall in that category, and that we're just part of our society, our contemporary society.
Mm-hmm.
I want to suggest everybody go check out the Santa Muerte video that Ramon did on my channel. Oh my gosh, it was
a awesome
riveting.
channel.
He
Yeah.
was.
And then he did a tour of his altar as well, which is another incredible video.
Yeah, that's true.
It was a great life.
Joey, is that they're connected? Yep. Bridget
they
and
are.
Mama. Okay, reality hits my brain. Okay,
they are connected.
Get with the picture, Bobby. Okay, all right. So we've covered.
Well, there's also another one. There's Enoch, who has said to be, who's now Metatron, an archangel.
That is
so
true.
Another human aspect, but he went into angel and not as a technically.
He was physically taken up.
Correct.
Yeah, and a chariot of fire into the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Is the only person in the Bible who never saw death.
Yep. So yeah, Enoch is another one.
Which brings
he's the one that I go to for like helping me with my studies. Like he's the one that I always reach for, and I'm calling on when I am in the middle of doing like assignments or anything like that, and I keep getting A's, so it's working.
This is the perfect segue to our next topic, which is star beings. Because I say the segue because there's a lot of people who think that when Enoch was taken up, it was a spaceship.
I agree. There's a lot of signs. It's like I've said before. There's things in the Bible that they're not gonna, by the description, they're not gonna say it's a flying saucer, it's a alien technology,
because they didn't know how to explain it.
They couldn't explain it, and it's something. And the example I always put is like I was trying to explain this girl at work a while ago. She's 20 years old. We were 30 years apart. I was trying to explain to her what a cassette was. A cassette, an audio cassette.
My heart hurts.
I know,
she couldn't. Yeah, I tried to explain. It's about the size of your phone, a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And she couldn't understand the concept of having to physically rewind music.
Did you
tell her
the pencil?
I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain her. It's like this little cartridge that has a magnetic ribbon, sort of like what's behind the credit card, something like that. And there's music, and you have to go back and forth. And we're not that far apart. We're contemporary,
Oh, my heart.
But
I know.
Or like and another example I'd like to use is like if I bring my great grandmother, trying to explain what the internet is, the concept of sharing a photo instantly at the other side of the world, it's nothing short of a miracle. That's why a lot of these descriptions in the Bible, we can't take it literally. But looking in hindsight, we can understand that there was influence from
things that make you go
other technologies. Then we can look back at.
Speaking of those other beings and technologies, star beings / galactic guides. These are beings from higher star systems like the Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, or Andromeda. What is their role? I'm glad you asked. They assist with cosmic knowledge, soul evolution, and interdimensional healing. I cannot say this is something I do not have personal experience with, but it's fascinating. When I was a kid, we had a show. Do you guys remember Chariots of the Gods?
Oh, yeah.
A documentary that was out, a book.
No.
I have the book. I have. No. Yes, I actually have that book. That's one of the book that opened my eyes to the esoteric world. And I was like 8 years old. My dad had that book, and I have the original book that my dad had.
I'm telling you, same.
And I read that book so many times, and I still have it. And I'm telling you, it's amazing. It's amazing.
That's so cool.
What it is
Eric
you haven't seen Chariots of the Gods. I'll give you, for example, the pictoglyphs. What are they called? Pictograms, the big giant drawings on the earth. that could only have been done in a
The
certain
Nazca
way.
lines. You're talking
The
about the
Nazca
Nazca lines in
lines.
Peru. Yeah.
Yeah. The images around the world,
Okay.
these things are there. Let me see what's Witchy best friend read the book. Oh yeah. I'm not too trusting of alien species. Too many humans and animals have been taken against their will, mutilated and tested on. No thank you. I'm very cautious when approaching them. I feel the same.
But was it really against their will? Did you make some type of commitment with them prior saying yes?
That is a possibility. However, a healthy dose of skepticism is in my heart also. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It would be fascinating to find out. I both want there to be life out there, and I'm scared to death there's life out there because
There's totally life out there.
I saw Independence Day.
I saw it too. Part 1 and 2. I was disappointed with
Yeah.
part 2.
Why? But come on, it was kind of cool when the big
Parts-
queen was running across the desert.
I mean, that like the scenes and everything, but the storyline sucked. Like they
Yeah.
tried to like extend it too much, and it got diluted.
Yeah, they
I
tried to jump
feel
on the
part 1.
bandwagon.
I love part 1. I love part
Mhm.
1. And this show, Ancient Aliens, is based on Chariots of the Gods. Like they refer to it a lot.
I love that. The original Alien movie scared a lot of women who were pregnant at the time. I remember that. I'm not even gonna lie. I remember being a kid and having this or hearing my parents talk about this. The movie that scared me with babies was called It's Alive. I don't know if you remember that. The babies were starting to be born like little monsters.
Because they are. No.
No, they're not. Babies are cute and wonderful until they cry, and then I hand them to somebody else. All right. So now we've got nature spirits.
Mhm.
This is more in the vibe that witches work with. Nature spirits, elementals, fairies, divas. Who are they? They are earth spirits like gnomes, sylphs, undines, and salamanders. They represent the 4 elements. Or fairy. Their role is to guide an earth-based spirituality, herbalism, and care of the earth, and help with magic. When we moved into this house, there was a ring of mushrooms in the backyard right outside the door. And every year in the same spot, there's a ring, either a grass ring or a mushroom ring, something, but it's always right there. So, hey, Gerald, how you doing?
I mean, I just started working with fairies, so that started like early spring, and then now with Rochelle's group, we're Astaria Sen, who's Summer, and Rochelle's group is doing a month-long VR about fairies. So if you guys want to learn about that or know more about that, definitely check out Astaria Sen. If someone can put her YouTube channel on the page here, that would be great. But yeah, she's if you look at her, to me, when I see her, I see a fairy. She just has that fae-like quality, and it's just beautiful.
People used to do that when I was a young man. They'd point and scream, "Fairy!" Yeah. Let's see, CELINA, Astaria Sen. Yeah, there it is. Okay. No, I have worked with elemental spirits for as long as I can remember, since before I was a teenager. Candle magic was my first go-to form of magic. Water for scrying, air for making spells work. It's just a thing. I've always worked with elementals. I think anybody who is in tune with nature has touched on this also. Different fairy, yes, Gerald. Do you guys work with elementals?
I don't. And I'll be honest with you, I for some reason I repel I don't connect with the images of fairies or gnomes or any of those. It doesn't resonate with me.
I get that.
For some reason, I don't know why. Those dragons, those are like motifs or symbologies that I can't connect with. I just don't find any connection with it.
Right. And what about you, Selena?
I do, the fairies. So I just started working with them. So I'm still trying to understand their energy and how they're around me. But they have been giving me signs that they are around. And for the longest time, it was like the same thing with like Santa Muerte, where they were continuously in your head. Like out of nowhere, I'd be seeing fairy stuff. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, why am I seeing all this fairy stuff?
I've always been
So that was their
leery.
way of like communicating with me.
I've always been leery about. Oh wait! There are lots of beings that fall
Like
under the
the
blanket of
djinn.
fae.
Yeah.
Yes, Jinn. Yeah, the other works with Jinn.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the elementals are just like everything else in existence. Some are good, some are bad. Some have our best interest at heart, and some are mischief makers, or worse, want destruction. I do have a healthy dose of concern when working with the Fae because I'm more drawn to the darker Fae. I don't vibe with the cutesy little energies of life. I vibe with the natural forces of existence. And anytime you're dealing with those forces, you should go into it with a healthy dose of respect and
Oh, totally. With any type of commitment, with any type of spirit, any type of guide, any of them, you should approach it with respect and with like sovereignty and be really serious about that commitment,
maybe I will, Witchy. Maybe I will
Mm-hmm.
do that. Check that out. Yeah, we've all heard the stories of the Fae taking humans and into the fairy realm. And I'm sure. No, I'm not sure. I don't know what to make of that, I should say. I really don't.
Well, I think maybe you should check out Astaria Sen's channel because she's going to be doing videos all month long on the Fae, and then that way you can get more information on them.
I think I shall. I
Mm-hmm.
will do that. I would love to get. I don't like not knowing. It bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sirens are both water and air, by the way. I know that one. I'm like, I know that one. I know that one. All right. So here's the one that I'm most in tune with, the higher self / soul guide. Who is it? Your own higher aspect that remains in constant communion with the divine consciousness, red logos. It serves as your clearest compass towards your life's purpose. This is your Jiminy Cricket. I believe that I can send help back and strength to myself at a younger age. It's part of my meditations. There was a very long time when I didn't have strength or support from anybody, so I had to find it within myself. So I started reaching to the future, knowing that one day I would be okay. And I just knew it because now I send those feelings back to my old self saying, you're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got this, boo. Don't worry.
I love that. Yeah. Because when I'm doing past life work and I'm trying to heal past life, generational trauma, stuff like that, if you send that healing energy back to them, then you start to heal yourself as well because you're healing them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading what everybody says. Yes, Robert Kuntz. This is the web designer, gentlemen. that is responsible for the Mystic Turtle app. Hey, Robert, how you doing? He
Hey.
is very clever, you guys. Please, the link is in the website. Check it out.
Yeah, and I want to add, the concept of the higher self can also be translated into ourselves in alternate universes, in other timelines, and that's why I believe that intuition a lot of times is us, as our spirit, is our soul, connecting with other versions of ourselves and gaining knowledge of things that haven't happened yet, and we're
Yeah.
able to discern. That's what intuition to me is. It's that knowledge that wasn't like learned, but it's you gain it through connections with experiences that you had in other timelines,
Other realms. Yeah.
other
Do you
realms.
remember a movie with Jet Li when he first came out? Did a movie called The One, and it was dealing with
I love Jet Li.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was awesome.
Mhm.
He was a bad guy in this, killing all his alternate versions so he could be the one, the powerful one. But yeah, Joey's vibing with what you're laying down. Also, Ramon.
Yeah, so some of these things we feel, and we get that intuition sometimes as a vision, but it's information that we get. Sometimes we get it through dreams. I feel we connect a lot with other versions of ourselves through the world of dreams. So there's a lot of ways in which we can connect with ourselves. It doesn't have to be like in a spiritual realm, but in a timeline version as well, both past and future, and alternate as well.
It's funny. I talk about spiritual connection on all past, present, future. My sister, oh my gosh, she is so smart. She gets into actual time travel theories, and I get lost when she starts talking. I really do, but I agree. We are accessing different parts of ourselves from different times, different spaces.
I mean, I feel you do that when you're doing tarot reading. You're asking for your higher self to help guide you when you are shuffling those cards and reading for someone.
Robert and I had this conversation one time about pulling wisdom from the alternate. When I'm reading cards, I'm reading possibilities. I'm reading what could happen, and then looking at it and feeling which one is most likely, using my intuition to zero in on it. And you are absolutely right, Selena. That is what we do when we read cards.
I mean, when you mentioned just alternates right there, it automatically made me think of the past lives and how I reach out to them to help me with making a potion of some sort or an oil or whatever. I'm asking them to help me so that I know what combination to use. And when after I pull all the stuff that I'm going to be using, and I'm like, well, let me check and see if this is going to work. I look up all the ingredients, like all the herbs and stuff, and how they go together. And surprisingly, they do. But I'm just like pulling stuff. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this and this and this, not, just subconsciously knowing they're going to work. And then I look them up to double check because I don't want to mess something up. And they do work.
Like the idea.
So I think that's like the same thing as you're pulling on your previous. For me, I pull on my past lives, but it could also be my higher self combination with my past life, I'm pulling in all that energy to see what's going to work, and then use them to help me with my workings.
It gets deep.
It gets deep.
Because then I picture myself existing in the now, in the past, and in the future, and I'm connecting with all the different versions of myself.
Yeah, I was gonna say something like that. Sometimes we are bringing information to ourselves in different timelines. Because I believe it's not, and I said this before too. We talk about reincarnation, and we always talk about the future, but I believe we can reincarnate in the past. And I believe we take information from our future selves into the past, and at different points we're able to access that information from other versions of ourselves going backwards.
Agreed.
Yeah.
That is
I
so
love that.
cool.
That was perfectly said, Ramon. I love that.
Do you know that I could not have these type of conversations with most people
With
in my
anybody?
life?
No,
I just
because I think
love
That's
the
why
you
we're
three.
here, because we
I love
understand
you
each
guys.
other.
I know, but the three of us, we have all these. I mean, if you guys saw our text messages together,
Right.
you guys would
Yeah,
think
they're
we were
pretty
like
fun.
nuts.
Yeah. All day long.
And
I know.
I'm
It's
still waiting
literally
for
every
that
day, all day
delivery.
long about every topic available.
Timelines often cross past, present,
Yeah.
futures. This is true. We're going to go deeper on my viewpoints on that on the next point we're going to cover, which is pretty much our last one. Deity guides. Who are they? These are the gods and goddesses who may step in as teachers, protectors, or initiators. These are Hecate, Hermes, Odin, Kali, all the big gods and goddesses, right? So, what is their role? They teach divine mysteries. They teach the magical arts. They teach you how to transition and transform, both in the world and within yourself. I've always believed magic is the conscious manipulation of natural forces through mental means. Basically, applying your will is magic to me. Applying it with the elements, it gets all weird. Yes. No joke, but have you watched the cartoon Last Airbender and how he interacts with his past and present lives? I forgot about that, but yes, that is true.
One thing I wanted to mention about this point with deities is that deities can be spirit guides, but not all spirit guides are deities. So,
Boom. Mic drop moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's philosophical.
Yeah, that is.
We learned that in school. Like all chickens are birds, but not all birds are chickens.
birds are chicken.
Yeah. I have been lucky enough in my life to, how do I say this without sounding mushy? Oh, I'm going to sound mushy. Screw it. Hecate and Hermes found me at my worst and have taught me, guided me, helped me, built me up, and created me in a new way to be a tool. I'm a tool. I am a living tarot deck, pretty much. That is my function.
Yeah.
I pass
I
messages.
can see that.
That is what I do. You
Are
take
you
that
Marseille
away.
or RWS?
I'm RWS all the way, baby.
But
I don't need a tarot deck, but it helps organize things. Just like any good Gerald doesn't need a tarot deck to pass messages. I was watching your show earlier, Gerald. You used my favorite punch deck, by the way. I wanted to tell you. I'm gonna sound cuckoo, but I truly believe that I've had physical run-ins with Hermes in the past.
Oh, I can totally see something like that happening. Physically running into a deity, like
I ran away at 15
totally.
and stole a car and was crossing the desert with a friend in a stolen vehicle. Well, we saw a guy on the side of the road, an old man in a suit, and it was hot. It was in the desert, so we picked him up. You can't leave him there. And after we dropped him off, we drove straight to a place we had no business knowing where it was at. I mean, my friend's plan was basically drive around till we found her house, the girl we were looking for. But we drove straight there after like 3 or 4 turns. And there is no way on heaven or earth that could have happened. I didn't find out that one of Hermes' oldest depictions was as an older man, bearded older man. I didn't know that at the time. I was young. I was just meeting the gods.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and then Justin said, Bobby, if you're crazy, then you found your tribe.
Awesome.
Speaking of Justin, they just subbed to your channel today.
Really?
Yeah, the Witch of
I
Enchantment.
did. I was
Yeah, I
watching
shared
some
your link to
shorts and
them.
some videos, and I loved it. I
Yeah.
loved it. I was binging at work, actually.
Same thing with Hecate. I had a vision and was saved by her. I'll have a vision show one day and I'll tell you guys deeper about it. But that you cannot tell me that my gods do not exist. You cannot tell me that I have not been protected. You cannot tell me that death has not walked with me all these years, protecting me also. So finding out who Santa Muerte is, it fills in a piece of my story that it now makes sense. I've always thought of death as Thanatos, but it didn't feel right, you know? But when I met Santa Muerte, it was different. Let's just say that. It was different.
Yeah. So I want to share my Santa Muerte story.
Please do.
So last week, Cressida, the author of the book, Ramon Q.
Secrets
Ramon.
of Santa
Q
Muerte.
Ramon.
So Cressida
Available in audio
Yeah.
book also.
So since Ramon gifted me the book and I put it on my Instagram channel, and then Cressida liked it, and then we chatted slightly through Instagram, and now we talk almost every single. And she's been sending, people my way that need help. So she's been keeping me busy, but that's beside the point. The day I was going to be, it was Friday last week, and I think it was Friday, yeah. And I asked Santa Muerte, please send me a message if you want me to work with you. I was very scared being raised Mexican, and my mom would we'd see Santa Muerte, like the statue somewhere, and I was very, because I loved skeletons even then when I was younger, and she'd say, don't look at it, keep walking. So I was always scared, and that was kind of the mentality I had until Santa Muerte put Ramon in my path, and then Cressida as well in my path. I know, Ramon. So that day, I asked her that morning. Within like an hour later, I'm looking at my Instagram messages, and there is a Cressida messaging me saying, hey, I sent someone that needs help. Can you help her? So I'm like, yeah, I'll help her. So I spent all day chatting with her and getting ready to do stuff for her. As my husband is going to work, he sees an owl in our driveway, and he felt the need to call me and say, hey, there's this humongous owl in our driveway, and he flew away. And he's like, but I felt the need to call and tell you. So he didn't, there's no way he would have known that the owl was related to Santa Muerte, and that morning I had asked her for a message. So as that happened, and I'm like, I was all like an emotional wreck. I had to reground myself to do these workings, because I was making workings, doing workings for this client. And as I calmed down and I turned on some meditative Santa Muerte music, there was there was an image of Santa Muerte on the TV. And as I'm thanking her for sending me a message and getting her message, and as I look up to start doing a prayer from the book, literally there was eyes staring at me from the Santa Muerte image. Like, they were real eyes. It was not like, it was, I sent Ramon and Bobby a picture, and I'm like, there's no eyes in this, and it's staring at me. And I had to blink like 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating. And there was, to me, I felt, and there was this energy that came on like over me. I felt that she was there in front of me, and like almost saying, welcome home. It was just that feeling that I had, that it was just an incredible, absolutely incredible feeling that I had to actually see her in front of me. Yeah. And as I'm, I had to calm down again and reground myself so that I could continue this. But since then, I have been, I'm now a devotee. I'm now consider myself a devotee. My husband bought me this beautiful statue that I have to give her a nice proper altar.
Yes, it's a beautiful one.
Isn't that beautiful?
Your first Santa Muerte.
So he got me a huge altar, a huge statue that I'm I'm going to do a nice proper altar for her this weekend. But since then, I've been like bought her tequila. I have coffee with her in the morning. I give her Mexican candy because she likes sweets. And this feels so right for me, you know, and it's after like months of hearing her in my head, because I could hear her every single day, and I'm ignoring her. And then, you know, Ramon's in my life, and then Cressida comes in my life, and it's like she's putting her devotees in front of me to be like, hey, you need to come work with me. You need to be with me. So that's where I am right now.
I would like to take a moment
But that's my
and tell you
story
guys,
with
we are
Santa
not.
Muerte and the owl.
That's beautiful, and everybody's loving it. I do want to tell everybody, we are not here to recruit members for Hermes, Hecate, Santa Muerte. Nobody. All right. That is not what we're here for.
No.
We're here to share information, share
Our
our
gnosis.
viewpoints,
Yeah.
share what we know from our personal experiences.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, I can only speak for myself. There wasn't a lot growing up outside of my family that I could reach out for information. And what was there, a lot of it was twisted. I had to unlearn a lot of stuff when I got older and relearn it. I think we can all three agree that deities are real and they affect the lives of everybody, whether you choose to acknowledge it or not. We've seen in chat Odin, Kali, Santa Muerte. I think I saw Hecate earlier.
Yeah.
So many different paths, but yet look at us. We're all coming together to share information, share knowledge. That is the joy of that we want to spread to everybody. We just
no. You earlier you were saying too that people can't say that Hecate is not real for you or this divinity, etc. You don't need validation from anyone either.
Nope.
Because this is a personal experience. A lot of these divinities, spiritual guides, they meet you there at the moment when you most need it. When you're receptive to receive their messages. Because I've known about Santa Muerte, I heard of her before, but there wasn't a connection or anything until a event. It was actually an encounter that I had. I was hearing Santa Muerte was trying to communicate with me for a while. And it came at a moment that I was receptive. And then I had an experience with an owl. She sent me her owl to deliver a message.
I figured.
Yes. And that's when
Hola, Rosy.
I connected with her, but it has a meaning for you, and you don't need validation, and you understand it. It's like with dreams. You have a dream and there's certain symbols that it could be a horse, but maybe that is your brother, or that I don't know. You see a person that physically might not look like your mother, but that is your mother, right? And you understand these things. It's the same with your personal experience with divinity. You don't need validation.
Correct.
Because at the end is how it works with you, and period.
Absolutely correct. Nobody walks your path, people. You walk it by yourself.
And no one's going to have that same experience that you're having. Say, I'm not going to have the same experience Ramon has with Santa Muerte, or like with Cressida has with Santa Muerte. We're all going to have different experiences with them. And if you're reading a book and if it says, oh, this and this and this, those are just examples of that's their gnosis, their personal experience.
Their gnosis.
Correct. Yes. Their own personal experience. And that's just how they connect with that specific deity or ascended master, whomever it is. So don't feel like it has to go by the book. If it makes sense to you, it makes sense to you. If it feels right to you, it feels right to you. And don't let anyone else, tell you that the way you're doing it or the way you feel when they're around you doesn't make sense or is not right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of gatekeeping in spirituality. It shouldn't be someone. I'm not going to mention this person's name, but someone today sent me a photo of a Santa Muerte altar and was asking, how to pray with her. I explained to her, doesn't necessarily have to be certain type of prayers, as long as it comes with the heart, from the heart. You're sincere. That's what your spirit guides like. You know, you can find prayers in books, etc. But at the end, the essence is talking with sincerity and from the deepest of yourselves with your divine connection.
Let's talk about that divine connection for a second. Most of the time, I am respectful, bowing, my lord, my lady. But there are other times when something will happen and I'll turn and look at my altar and go, "Can you believe this bitch?" That type of thing. I have that connection, but I know if I did that in front of other Hecatean witches, they might go, "Oh."
But it's your relationship with her that is unique to you and her only. It doesn't have to be what everyone else's relationship is,
Nope.
So don't let anyone, anyone in the chat, do not think that because it's not how so-and-so has an experience that yours does not make sense or yours is not right. Don't ever let anyone tell you that.
I have experiences that other people will not have, that they did not go through. I can see life from a certain perspective because I've been there. That doesn't mean I'm better than the guy who has been doing ritual all his life with the gold chalice and all this stuff. No, we're different. We have a different relationship. And if you're thinking of fostering a relationship with a certain deity, that's on you guys. We are not here to promote it. I do want to just stress that point. Okay. Is there anything else you guys wanted to add for tonight?
No, I mean, it's within that category of, we didn't mention angels.
Angels! Oh my gosh, good. I don't know how I didn't
So,
get
Bobby.
that on the list. I don't know. I must not have.
I think it was probably mixed in with Ascended Masters, maybe, in that little section.
Or Bobby was smoking a bong.
But
which one is most likely? So angels. Angels, angels, angels. I do believe in angels. Everybody views it differently. Hecate is known as the Queen of Angels, the Mother of Angels. Hermes has a name, Angelos, connected with him. Angels are around us constantly, in my opinion. And sometimes I view them as nature spirits. Sometimes I view them as cosmic spirits. We're going to have to wrap this up, Ramon. It's late where you guys are. I know.
I'm good.
No, it's still okay. I'm still good. Only 10:20.
What are your views on angels? I'm going to let you guys speak on this.
So for me, you have to remember that they give you the free will and they're not just going to come in and save your day. You need to ask for help. That is the only way that they're going to come and help you. They give you free will and they're going to wait for you to call on them. They're not just going to jump in and do it for you. So remember that when you want to work with your angels, definitely call on them specifically, not just angels in general. Like if you want to call in on Archangel Michael for protection, call on him specifically to help you. But that's my association with them and my experience with them.
Yeah, and different from maybe some other divinities, I feel that angels are not there to scold you, right? They're there to give you like emotional healing, unconditional love, protection, spiritual messages also. But a lot, like, their energy is one of like peace and reassurance, sort of like of support and protection.
I come from a family of witches, but all the men in my family had the middle name of Michael. I had the middle name of Michael before I had my name changed.
I mean, I have a brother named Miguel Angel.
Oh, that is cool, really.
He's far from one, but yeah.
And for those who are, that means Michael Angel. I'm looking what everybody's saying. Oh, Joey. She works with archangels and the four directions, the cosmic sun and the earth grid. When we do our coven, sometimes archangels are one of the quarters that is written into the invocation. So yeah, there's that.
And
yeah.
then
So some people are
Rochelle said
mentioning,
angels equals aliens.
yeah, and also that they're warriors. Yes, it's warriors, but what I'm saying is that they're not there to. They're warriors, but it's not against us. It's for support that they're here, that to give us that emotional nurturing and reassurance. Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of them
I
are
was just gonna
warriors,
say demons and
but it's
angels.
they're not battling against us.
No, I don't.
The energy is very
You
different.
Everybody has this image of angels as the soft, flowy white gown with the wings and the hair. I don't view angels like that. Angels are terrifying to me. All right, that point about angels and demons coming from the same place. It's just
Correct,
a
and the
difference
Bible
of
describes them,
viewpoint.
and some of them are they're very scary looking the way that they're described in the Bible. They don't look like little cherub angels.
Even the cherubs had four faces. Look at the Wheel of Fortune and the World card in tarot. Those four faces in the corners are supposed to be the four faces of the angels, the cherubs.
So that's like the Travis McHenry deck with the Angels Tarot. So he has a lot of the images on there that are per what the Bible says, and a lot of those images are very scary looking.
I gave one of my students my Kabbalah angel and demon decks. My I don't know. There's 72 angels in one deck and 72 demons in the other deck, and they just didn't vibe with me. That's not.
Is that the Travis McHenry ones? Because he has a set of dark one and a light one as well, right?
It's the Goatia in darkness. Yeah,
that's his. Yeah, I have that one too.
Yeah, it just wasn't. They're gorgeous.
You weren't vibing with it.
I wasn't, and since I'm never going to use it, I had a student who does work with demonology, so I passed them on to him, and he loves them. He uses them all the time. Anything else? I can't believe I didn't say angels. On the tree of life, the sphere right above Malkut, the ninth sphere, Yesod, is where the angels live. They are the sphere above. You can't see what I'm doing. They are the sphere above us right here. Angels are there to call on and protect you. You hear stories. My sister was saved in a car crash. She was pushed aside, and then her car barreled into a light post, and she should have been killed, but she was pushed out of the driver's seat. I will never deny that. That's it. Notoria and light and Goatee in darkness. Thank you, Mario. I knew somebody would know. Yes, we could go on about angels all night long, and maybe we'll do a whole show on that. That sounds interesting sometime. But for now, you guys, we have been on for almost an hour. Well, hour 22. Woo, yeah. I was expecting it to run about this length, you guys, but I would like to once again invite everybody in the description box. I have the link to our Facebook group. Please join the Facebook group and join in the conversation. We dig on these topics, and hearing what you guys want to hear about really helps us out. Do you guys have anything coming up this week?
This week, I'm recording a show with Irish Granny Helen.
I love Helen.
Oh my god, yeah! We did a show. We were like 3 hours talking. I could be like all night talking with her. Yeah. So I'm recording a show with her. These 2 weeks are very light for me. So I'm doing that, and then I'm gonna be with Sherry the following Saturday. I think is the 17th.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and of course on with you guys next week. We're gonna be talking about divination in ancient Mesopotamia. Next week is my topic, so
Ramon will be center stage again. I loved our last divination in biblical times. You guys,
Yeah,
please
definitely.
go back and watch that video. Selena, what do you have coming up?
I am busy with other stuff, not YouTube wise, but you know, like other witchy stuff.
Oh, homegirl just finished one of her classes.
Oh,
Congratulations,
I know. Can
Selena.
you believe? Ugh, that class was a nightmare. It was a business class, but I got an A, which was really good. I got like a 94.89
I
or
exhibit
something.
no surprise.
Yeah. So now I'm in a marketing class. So
Yay.
I'm going for my MBA, guys. So that's why I'm doing business and marketing and all that fun stuff. So
Lena's already
Congratulations.
excited. Lena
Yeah.
says, "Oh yes, Mesopotamia."
yeah.
So I have Friday. Kristen Louise will be on, and we're going to be reading cards. I haven't pulled cards in a while, and my fingers are itching for it. And then on Saturday, Ken Payne will be on talking about the epithets of Hecate.
Nice.
So I'm stoked about
Yeah, I'm
that.
excited to talk,
Me
have
too.
him on and listen to him.
All right, you guys. That's it for now. We love you. We love you all, but we got to go. We'll
Yep.
talk to you later.
Thanks, guys.
Blessings.